I moved to a city that was 1 hour from Transylvania and about 45 minutes from the Ukrainian border. And I went to an apartment service and I asked for an apartment. And I paid $80 a month. I paid 6 months up front in cash, dollars, and they were happy to have me. And I stayed for about 4 years. And my whole point was that I was going to write a novel while I was there, and I did. And it was a terrible novel, but I did it. And I was 19 after all, so it couldn't have been very good. And then, I just walked the earth. I was walking behind these two old men who were lamenting the collapse of socialism in their country, and it was just kind of funny because one man looked over at the other and he said, it's like a golden age came and went and nobody really cared. And I thought that just struck me as such a huge statement, because growing up in America, that's not anything we would ever hear about socialism and people, but the people living it, were living something quite different than what we thought. And I just thought it would be interesting to write a book from the point of view of an older person who has to deal with a major political change or a major economic change, or no different than that person who loses their 401k and has to go get a job at the supermarket when they're 85 because their finances have been wiped out. So I wanted to write a book about that. I thought the easiest way to write about the transformative power of change would be to take someone who's really closed off and give them a reason to kind of open up. And I figured a love story would be the best metaphor for that, and that's kind of where the idea for the book came from. What if I just go early or stay a few days later, rent a car, and then just hit as many indie stores as I can and just interview owners and talk about why they do it and why they think they're successful at doing it if they've been doing it for a long time, and just kind of seeing what the thread is that follows through that. So I've been learning a lot that first and foremost, these are people who love books. And these are people who love books who put themselves in like this retail environment, which is kind of a funny thing to do, because you would think they're like antithetical to one another, but they somehow are able to eke out a living in a lot of cases, selling something that before I went to New England I thought, well, not very many people cared about, but that enough people care about to where it kind of works. And now I would say my whole thinking about literature in this country is kind of changing, because I see that people are interested in reading and are interested in finding good books, and enough people are interested in finding good books and in reading to keep these kinds of stores in business. Marc Fitten, and I've written a novel called VALERIA'S Last Stand and have a blog called Marc Fitten's Indie 100, and this is my interview.